Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarian Productions. We're back again with another G.I. Joe action figure review. In this episode, we're taking a look at the G.I. Joe Club store exclusive. This is the Final 12 figure 11. This is Black Spider Rendezvous, codename G.I. Joe. So this one specifically was a one of the very last of the figure subscription services figures offered through the G.I. Joe Club store itself. Basically, they had 12 of these that they hadn't got around to doing, so they did them all as one. It wasn't quite the same as the figure subscription service in that they didn't mail out each month. They basically just packed them all up at one time and send them to you. But they had 12 of them in this particular wave, and they were all kind of paired together. So we had this one here, the Black Spider Rendezvous, paired with the Coals of Doom. This was from the Adventure Team, which is a little bit outside of my wheelhouse. I don't really know a whole lot about the Adventure Team itself. It was basically the predecessor of the G.I. Joe team. And it's got a pretty cool story to go along with it and everything, but looking at the actual figure itself, it does come carded like all the rest of our G.I. Joes here. Instead of the regular faction symbols and all, we do have the Adventure Team logo up at the top, and we got this kind of nifty retro Hasbro icon down here at the bottom. Pretty cool looking. Nice card art. Flipping it over to the back, we have the traditional wave numbering. This is number 11 of 12. We got a little bit of the backstory for the Adventure Team itself, which is pretty cool. Again, I hadn't really known much about that, so that's nice to have. And then we do get the traditional file card here. So we'll zoom in and move the light up so y'all can pause it right here to read through this. It's a pretty interesting little thing here. I guess different than the regular G.I. Joe team that we've been looking at, the Adventure Team. Basically, this character is supposed to be G.I. Joe. So that is his code name in this particular world. And the Black Spider Rendezvous is the actual mission he was on, which I think is a pretty cool way of doing it, but is a little confusing for us G.I. Joe collectors out there. If you're not well versed in the Adventure Team mythos, then yeah, it's a little bit weird. But anyways, let's go ahead and open this guy up and take a look at the figure itself. Got our handy X-Acto knife here. We're just going to slice around the edges of the bubble here. We'll note that this particular carded version that I got, the corners dinged a little bit here, but again, we're opening it, so it doesn't matter to me. But the the G.I. Joe Club itself, sometimes had some issues with their shipping in that it was kind of hard to get really mint carded figures from them. So, you know, your mileage may vary, but yeah, that's pretty typical to have a corner ding somewhere, but that's about the only thing I see here on this one. So pull that off. We do have a nice kind of retro, kind of 1960s-esque character art here. Pretty nice looking. I do like it. It looks pretty cool. Got kind of that vintage feel to it, the kind of matte painty thing. So pretty nice. Anyways, we'll toss this to the side because that's not relevant anymore. And let's see what we got in this pack here. We do have a little bit of tape holding some of these accessories in, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut that off real quick. Not a lot of it here, but a little bit. So we do have this cool submachine gun looking thing. It looks like it is kind of the same weapon that we got with like the Lampreys. Pretty nice. We have the figure itself, obviously. Very nice looking though. I do like the way this looks, and I actually have my eye on it for some customization, but we'll get to that later. We've got the cool helicopter pack handles. We actually have the actual helicopter pack itself. We have the cool Rotor Blade here. Some nice paint apps on it. And we got this little doohickey here that is what the rotor blade attaches to. And we also get a battle stand. Very awesome. So some pretty good looking accessories here. We'll go ahead and zoom in if we can here, so bear with me for just a moment while we make some adjustments. Get in here nice and close and see if I can straighten that up a little bit. There we go. That ain't too bad. So let's go ahead and dive into this thing. Starting with the battle stand here. Traditional G.I. Joe 25th anniversary figure stand here. 2 foot pegs, the raised G.I. Joe logo at the top. The Black Spider Rendezvous, where the code name would be. So again, that's kind of a weird thing. The adventure team is more of a, this is an adventure module, I guess would be a good way of looking at it. So I do like that kind of, but a little weird. Other than that, traditional 2007 copyright information on the back side, but pretty cool. I like the stands. You can never have enough of those. Where do we start with the accessories? Let's just go ahead and pick up the weapon here. Again, we have kind of seen similar weapons like this in the past. Got some nice detail work on it. Got that cool little extra clip thing on the side there. Again, I'm pretty sure this is the same model as what we got with some of the Lampreys. But still a nice little weapon here. Pretty cool looking. We have a black helicopter pack. Some really nice detail work here. If I can get this to shine in the light here for y'all. Yeah, nice details. Little clippy things, little backpack peg to go in his back. Some more detail work here. Very nice looking anyways. It's the same one that they actually included with our Sonic Fighters Sonic Fighters Falcon. Just in a different color scheme, so very nice there. We'll put this thing together here in a moment. We do have 2 of these control arms that attach to the backpack itself. Some nice detail work on those as well. Not a whole lot going on with them, but some interesting stuff anyways. 2 of those. Here's the other one just in case y'all want to look at it and see. I haven't noticed anything like serial numbers or markings or anything on it, so I don't know if there's any good way to tell them apart, but pretty much you just have 2 of them and they're pretty much the same mold. So we have this little peggy thing here that attaches to the backpack and lets the rotors move up and down, and then it spins on the end of it. Again, not a lot of detail work, but some interesting little bits here and there. And then the actual rotor blade itself, which is slightly different than we've seen in the past in that they have had some paint apps put on this thing. The edges anyways have that nice little black matte paint on them, so pretty cool looking. Let's go ahead and put this thing together. So we grab the backpack, we take these arm things, either one of them doesn't matter. There's a little peg on the side, one on each side, left and right. Just kind of fit the hole over the peg and snap it in place like so. Same thing for the other side. Just kind of line that peg up with the peg hole and move it till it snaps. And those do articulate up and down and around, whichever way you want to do it. Pretty cool looking. Then we take this little attachment thing here. There is a couple of little notches here on the top. And there are some little notches here on the bottom here. So you basically just take and line this up and kind of just snap it in place until it kind of fits. Like that. And then that allows it to move up and down and backwards and forwards. And I don't know if there is actually a front and back to this thing or not. For whatever reason, there's a little snap that way, but not that way. So I don't know if that's intentional or not. So if that locks in place, that makes sense to me anyways, but who knows. Then we take the actual rotor blade itself, and again, there's a hole there and a peg at the top of that. And I don't think there's a top and bottom to this thing either, so we're just going to snap it in place. And then it spins freely, and it actually works pretty well there. Very nice. Then that just kind of folds down. And that's pretty much all there is to this crazy helicopter backpack, but it will slide on his back. If you'll notice, if you move around all his little doodads and pouches and everything, he does have a peg hole in his back right there. Move that stuff around so you can get to that, and then this just snaps in place like that. And then you can grab the rotor controls and whatever else you need, and it just kind of flies around and does cool stuff. And when he lands, it can fly back like that right there out of the way, and when he's ready to take off, pops back up and he runs off. So pretty cool looking. Fits in there really nicely, so that's good. We'll pop that off for the time being and set that there. And let's actually take a look at the figure itself. So I'm going to count his helmet as an accessory. It is a removable helmet, which is cool. So we're going to take it off and take a look at the actual helmet itself. I actually really like this helmet. We've seen it in a couple of different Joe configurations in the past, but they've now put a nice Adventure Team logo on the top. It does have just a painted faceplate. It's not like a clear plastic or anything, but does have some really nice details all the way around it. It does look really cool. I think the best use of this was with Sci-Fi. You can go check out that figure review if you would like, but it's a cool helmet, and it does fit on him really easily. Nice and secure. It's not going to fall off, which is nice, but it also doesn't fit real tight, so you're not going to worry too much about paint wear, which I really appreciate, so that is cool. I don't see anything else on him as far as accessories go. The gun here is not removable, so we're not going to count that. Just a molded piece. So let's just go ahead and zoom in, take a look here. We do have a really nice head sculpt here. That original G.I. Joe face sculpt works really well. It does look a little dated still, but they've done a good job with it anyways. He has a whole lot of cool pouches and buckles and everything all the way around. Nothing that is unsurprising here. Nice little radio there, if it'll focus in on it. Maybe not. Holster there with the pistol molded in. Some nice, again, straps all the way around. Nice, what are these, buckles and things like that have a lot of really cool detail in them. Some nice detail work on the back of his web gear here. Again, he's got that kind of leather holster back here. Very nice looking. Some more crazy details in his legs. All those straps and everything, all the way down to the boots. Very cool looking. All in all, a very nice looking figure here. It's all basically just a matte black here, so nothing too crazy with highlights or anything like that. And also didn't see like the Adventure Team logo anywhere on his person, so I don't know if that's normal for these figures or not, but no affiliation whatsoever so far. Articulation wise, the head does spin 360 degrees. We do get a little bit of up and down motion, a little bit of side head tilt, not a whole lot. It's mostly just left and right is what we got here. Not a whole lot of up and down or anything like that. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joints. Standard ball and swivel here at the elbow joints. We do have a swivel and a rocker. A little stiff, but it's got that rocker there. You can kind of see right there where the joint is. It's his hands are really soft here. The plastic is just really pliable, so it's really kind of hard to... There he goes. So kind of weird, but nothing too bad here. Standard waist chest twist. Pretty good ab crunch motion going on here as well. Pretty nice. Standard T-hook at the waist and hips. He's got way crazy articulation there. Full front. Get his arm down there. Full backwards. And then all the way to the side. We do get a double knee joint there. And standard swivel and rocker there at the ankle joint. So all in all, really cool looking. I do like this figure. Again, I'm not well versed at all with the Adventure Team, so don't really know much about that. But as far as just a regular figure goes, I'm actually kind of liking this guy. My first thought when I was looking at him was that it would probably make for a halfway decent custom Mad Max figure. Kind of rethinking that now, simply because he has just way too much detail work in his straps and everything all the way around. But, I don't know, it's something to think about anyways. I kind of like it anyways. But it's still really a cool figure here. Let's go ahead and get him geared up. Throw his helmet back on there. Throw his crazy backpack on here. And let's see here. We're going to put his gun in his right hand. And then we'll grab the control stick here with his left hand. Like so. And he's off to fight the Mars mercenaries. Pretty cool looking. So again, it's Adventure Team's not really my thing. It's kind of cool for what it is, and I actually do really like the figure. So I would actually recommend picking this guy up if you don't have him already. He would look great on the shelf anyways, and he does fit in right pretty well with the rest of the G.I. Joe team. So I don't think you'll be regretting putting him in there. So yeah, if you can pick him up for a decent price, go ahead and do it. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. So that's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe to the channel. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of this Adventure Team G.I. Joe character, Black Spider Rendezvous. If you have more experience with the Adventure Team itself, you know, what have we missed? What do we need to know about these guys? If you have a favorite adventure module from the Adventure Team lineup, what would that have been? If you had to get more of these Adventure Team figures in G.I. Joe format, which ones would you have liked to have seen? I know they did do a few others earlier in the line, some convention exclusives and things like that. So this is not the first Adventure Team character we've had, but it's a pretty nice one. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. So until next time, Yo Joe!